So the December job numbers came out, and they're great once more. It's over 300,000 jobs were created. Wages increased more in a month since 2009, which is very good, almost 10 years. And all these numbers appear to be very good for the economy in general and Trump in specific. However, I think that Trump made a crucial mistake earlier trying to liken stock market success to what the economy is really all about. Now that the stock market's declining, it looks like, oh, Trump's killing the economy. He's connected to the stock market. And he has no one to blame but himself. He should have known better than to, one, say that he has everything to do with the stock market. I do think he had a lot to do with investor confidence, which drove up the stock market, but certainly he's not everything to do with it. And second, by basically claiming that the stock market's a measure of the success of a healthy economy, which it isn't. There's all kinds of shady stuff that go in the stock market. For example, high-frequency trading, algorithms, and things like that. What the stock market wants is low interest rates always. They want the Federal Reserve, which I'll do a whole video on at some point, isn't federal in any sense of the word. It's a private bank that we borrow money from some reason that should be ended. Anyways, they want the Federal Reserve that now controls our monetary policy to basically keep interest rates as close to zero as possible. So this is a gross oversimplification, and I'm sure people that know more about economics could tell me the nuances as why this isn't exactly the case. But basically what happens is when the Federal Reserve has interest rates close to zero, that's called like quantitative easing, which they've done over and over again. That allows people to borrow money at 0% interest rate. Now, the people that are able to borrow that money from the Fed aren't people like me and you. You can't go to your local bank and get a 0% interest loan. No, it's these wealthy people. It's people that control banks. It's people that have direct access to this sort of thing. And so they borrow money at 0% interest, and just by the law of economics, because the economies are always growing, of course they're going to make money, even if they do nothing but put the money in banks. So the stock market loves that. They love that free money. But it's bad for savers. That's why if you put money in the bank and you're saving it, your interest rates on what you're collecting in that money is really low because the Fed interest rates kept low. As the economy, the reason the Fed kept these interest rates low is they said, well, it's because the economy's stagnant and we need to do something to boost the economy. As the interest rates go up, the Fed's now, or as the economy's getting better, the Fed's now saying, okay, now we're going to raise interest rates. Now this is a big fight for Trump because Trump's saying, no, I want the interest rates being kept low. The problem is, a healthy economy should have higher interest rates. That's totally true. The reason that Obama's economy was kept barely afloat was because of things like these zero interest rates. And so it should be reversed. It's just no one wants it reversed on their, on their time. Because Trump knows if interest rates increase, that means the stock market will go down. Because the stock markets, the people that are investing are upset they can no longer get access to this cheap money. Therefore, it goes down, but it deflates the bubble that is the stock market, which is actually a good thing because it's being propped up by all this free money that we're just printing over and over. When you take that money out, there's going to be a natural correction. But then it looks bad for Trump. All of a sudden it looks like Trump's the reason that the stock market's collapsing. Which, don't get me wrong, some of his policies also are unliked by people that are in stocks, such as they want totally free trade. They don't like the idea of tariffs on China, which I kind of support at least Trump's effort to get a more free trade system with China by applying pressure. Nonetheless, what ends up happening is if you don't have a high opinion of the Fed, like myself, then you could take a conspiratorial tone that, geez, it seems like when they have people in there that would back the Fed that are kind of more globalist or establishment in nature, like Barack Obama, then they're going to do whatever they can to make Obama look good by keeping these interest rates as low as possible. But then with Trump, they'll raise the rates because what ends up happening is that makes him look bad because the stock market goes down and people would say, look, when Trump was there, look how far the stock market went down. My advice is, it's very nuanced, but if you just out there, you're watching and you can't understand any of this, look, I also don't understand it. Our economic system's so complicated that you kind of get baffled with BS and you don't see, the trees for the forest in front of your face. So my advice is, don't look at the stock market as a healthy indicator of the economy. I mean, sure, if it totally collapsed, that would be a disaster. Don't get me wrong, and it is a measure of health of the economy, but things like GDP and things I think are important are like actual wage growth, the economic strength of the middle class, the amount of not just the amount of jobs people have, but are they jobs with decent wages, things like that. The job numbers are also misleading. They were under Obama, they continue to be under Trump, and that unemployment statistics don't take into account people that aren't actually looking for work right now. But it's actually, even that's getting better under Trump, where you now start to see people that were in this pool of people that had given up so much hope on the economy that they were like, screw it, we're not looking for jobs anymore. They're now coming back to the labor market, either finding jobs or looking for jobs. It's the lowest unemployment rate for Hispanics in history. We're seeing every demographic's increasing, and the amount of jobs that they're receiving. Like I said, wages went up since 2009. Though obviously there's a ton of work left to do on that. So all these are good signs, but this is just more indication that the Fed will probably then raise interest rates, which again, I think is a good thing in the long haul, but in the short term will decrease the stock market. So it becomes confusing, and for mainstream media that's not journalists, but are just mouthpieces for the establishment who hate Donald Trump because he's perceived as an outsider, they'll use that to bludgeon him, and somehow that means he's destroying the economy. So it's worth continuing to check out. I personally, I mean, it's easy to see these numbers and see what do they mean to me personally. I mean, all I could ask is, and I know it's different in different areas, whether you live in a rural area, what state you live in, what your state governments are doing, and things like that, or just bad luck in a lot of cases. But I guess you could just ask people, are you doing better under this economy now than you were under Obama? How much of that's Trump's fault? We don't really know. But I do think Trump deserves a lot of credit. I think that a lot of his policies are encouraging job growth. That's just my opinion. We can get into a very nuanced discussion of that, but it's not as all doom and gloom as you would have believed if you turn on CNN or the New York Times or things like that. And by the way, the stock market will further go down the more there's talks of impeachment and things like that, because another thing that investors in the stock market hate is uncertainty. So they'll actually, if there's uncertainty whether Trump would serve out his term or not, that's going to cause people to pull back from their investments. They would rather have someone they don't think would be a good investment but's going to be stable than someone that they ultimately like but they're worried about the stability of, because the number one friend to an investor is certainty. You want to be quite sure what's coming down the pipe in a year or two. That allows you to make the best possible decision to invest. So look for that to occur. So yeah, good news on the economy. Hopefully it keeps up. Let's see what the numbers continue to do from there on out. I'll be interested to see the end of the year tally and just how well the economy did in 2018. So all right, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Recommend me to other people. I will not be doing a live stream today because of work obligations, but tune in next Friday around noon. I'll probably be doing a live stream then. So all right, have a good one.